Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going to be diving into EstateX.
Oh, yeah.
This is a platform that's making some serious waves for those looking to make passive income through real estate. And the best part, you don't need to be a real estate mogul or have millions in the bank to get started.
Right, and that's what's so exciting about EstateX. It's really breaking down those traditional barriers to real estate investment.
So you're telling me I don't need a small loan of $1 million from my father?
Exactly. You don't need a mountain of cash, a law degree, or even a property manager on speed dial. EstateX handles all the nitty-gritty, so you can really focus on the potential returns.
Okay, so for someone like me, who's always heard real estate is a great investment, but it always seemed, a little too complicated, a little too expensive maybe, EstateX is offering like a different path.
Absolutely. It all comes down to fractional ownership. Think of it like this. You own a slice of a delicious pie.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
And that pie represents a whole property. You get all the benefits of owning that real estate, the appreciation, the rental income, but without the headache of managing the entire property yourself.
Okay, I'm really liking this pie analogy.
Yeah.
But let's be real for a second. What makes EstateX stand out from other platforms or even like other investment options out there?
That's a great question. I think what really sets EstateX apart is the accessibility and the ease of use. They've designed their platform to make real estate investing as straightforward as possible, even if you're a complete beginner. And on top of that, you can start with a surprisingly small investment.
Okay, so that low barrier to entry is definitely intriguing. But can you walk me through how exactly EstateX generates this passive income? I mean, we keep talking about it, but how does it actually work?
Sure. So when you invest in a property through EstateX, you become a fractional owner. So you earn a portion of the rental income that the property generates. And as the property value goes up over time, so does the value of your shares.
So it's kind of like a double win. You get the rental income plus the potential for your investment to grow as the property value appreciates. Sounds like a pretty sweet deal to me. But before I get too excited, you mentioned earlier that EstateX handles all the complexities. Does that mean it's completely hands-off for the investor?
Well, EstateX does manage the day-to-day operations. Things like finding tenants, collecting rent, handling repairs. No investment is ever truly passive.
Right.
There are always inherent risks to consider.
Okay, yeah, I was just about to ask about that.
Yeah.
What kind of risks should potential investors be aware of when it comes to EstateX?
Well, I think the most significant risk with any real estate investment is that property values can fluctuate.
Sure.
What goes up can also come down. So even though you're not dealing with tenants or maintenance directly, it's important to understand that the value of your investment can change over time.
That's a really good point. So it's not like a guaranteed return.
Right.
And there's always the potential for the market to shift.
Yeah.
What else should we be considering?
Another risk to think about is that rental income is never guaranteed. There could be periods where a property is vacant or unexpected repairs come up and cut into the profits. It's also worth noting that you're relying on EstateX to manage these properties effectively.
Yeah.
So their performance as a company will directly impact your returns.
So due diligence on EstateX itself is important as well.
Absolutely.
It sounds like diversification is key to managing risk. But how exactly does that work on the platform? I'm curious to know how someone would actually build a diversified portfolio using EstateX.
That's where EstateX really stands out. You're not limited to just one type of property or one location. It's like a global real estate buffet.
I like the sound of that.
They have everything. Residential apartments in bustling cities, commercial spaces, even vacation rentals in like exotic destinations.
Wow, so I could own a little piece of paradise.
Exactly. That's the beauty of it. This variety allows you to spread your investment across different asset classes and geographic areas, which is really the heart of diversification.
Right, so if one sector of the market isn't doing so well, my other investments can help balance things out.
Precisely.
Instead of putting all my eggs in one basket, I can build a portfolio that matches my risk tolerance and my investment goals.
That makes a lot of sense. But I'm curious, how does EstateX actually evaluate the properties they offer on their platform? As an investor, how can I be confident that I'm putting my money into something solid?
That's a great question and a really important one. EstateX has a super rigorous due diligence process. They have a whole team of experts who analyze each property. They look at the financial performance, the location market trends, the potential for appreciation.
So they're really doing their homework.
Yeah, they look at things like rental income history, occupancy rates, projected growth in the area.
So it's not just about throwing any random property on the platform. EstateX is really making sure they're offering quality investment opportunities.
Absolutely.
That's reassuring. Okay, but let's talk about the practical side of things for a second. How do I actually get started with EstateX? Like, what are the steps involved? It's actually surprisingly straightforward. First, you head over to their website, EstateX.eu. The platform is really user-friendly, even for people who are brand new to online investing.
Okay.
You create an account, and then you can start browsing the available properties. Each property listing gives you all the details you need about the financials, the location potential returns, and the minimum investment amount.
So I can basically window shop for real estate investments from my couch.
Exactly.
I like that. And you mentioned earlier that EstateX is designed for accessibility. What kind of minimum investment are we talking about here?
One of the things that makes EstateX so appealing is that you don't need a fortune to get started. You can start investing with a relatively small amount, sometimes as low as a few $100s depending on the property.
Wow, that really is a game changer, especially for people who have always wanted to get into real estate, but have been intimidated by those high upfront costs. It makes building a diversified portfolio so much more attainable. Okay, but before we get ahead of ourselves, we need to come back to that risk management aspect. We talked about diversification, but are there other strategies investors can use on the platform to manage their risk?
Absolutely. One of the most important things is to think long-term. Real estate is generally not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's about steady growth over time.
Yeah, patience is key.
Think of it like planting a tree. You nurture it, you give it time, and eventually it grows into something strong and valuable.
I love that analogy.
Another smart strategy is reinvesting your profits. As your investments start generating income, you can put those earnings back into buying more shares. And that really accelerates your portfolio growth thanks to compounding.
So even small gains consistently reinvested can lead to significant returns over time.
Exactly. That's the beauty of compounding.
This all sounds amazing in theory, but I think our listeners would love to hear a real-life example of someone who's actually used EstateX successfully.
You know, there's one story that really stands out to me. It's about a person who started small, investing in several different properties across different locations.
So they were definitely diversifying.
Yeah, they followed that strategy perfectly. And after just a year, they saw a substantial return, both from the appreciation of their shares and the rental income generated by those properties.
Wow, that's impressive. It's encouraging to hear that someone starting with a modest investment can see those kinds of results.
Absolutely. It shows that you don't need a ton of capital to get started on EstateX. It's about making smart choices, diversifying, and having that long-term vision.
It really brings the whole concept to life and shows that EstateX can be a real tool for building wealth.
Exactly. It's not just theoretical. People are actually achieving financial success using this platform.
And the best part is, it's accessible to anyone who's willing to learn and take action.
That's right. EstateX provides the tools and the platform, but it's up to the individual investor to really make the most of it.
So if someone's listening to this right now and thinking, okay, I'm interested, what's the first step they should take?
The best thing to do is head over to the EstateX website. Take a look around. Explore the available properties. See if it aligns with your investment goals and your risk tolerance. The information is all laid out in a really clear and easy to understand way.
So no need to be intimidated, just jump in and start exploring.
Exactly.
It can be the first step towards a whole new world of passive income possibilities.
All right.
But before we wrap up, I think it's super important to emphasize that everything we've talked about today is for informational purposes only. We're not offering financial advice.
You're absolutely right. Investing is a personal journey, and what works for one person may not work for another. So we always encourage everyone to do their own research, consult with a financial advisor if needed, and make informed decisions that are right for them.
We've covered a lot of ground today, from the basics of fractional ownership to risk management strategies and real-life success stories. I hope this deep dive into EstateX has given you a clear understanding of how this platform works and its potential for generating passive income through real estate.
We want to give you the knowledge and insights you need to make smart decisions about your financial future.
And who knows, maybe exploring EstateX could be the key to achieving your financial goals.
I think so too.
Well said. But before we say goodbye, I want to leave our listeners with a thought-provoking question to consider. So as we wrap up our deep dive into EstateX, I want to ask you this. How might incorporating fractional real estate investing into your long-term financial strategy change your outlook on building wealth?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think it really challenges us to think outside the box, to look beyond those traditional approaches and explore these innovative options, like what EstateX is offering. It's about expanding our horizons, and realizing that there might be new and exciting possibilities out there for achieving financial security and freedom.
Absolutely. And remember this deep dive. This was designed for you, our listeners. We've broken down the key information about EstateX, highlighted the benefits and the risks, and shared those inspiring stories, all to give you the knowledge you need to make informed decisions.
Right, because knowledge is power, and especially when it comes to investing. The more you know, the better equipped you'll be to navigate those complexities and make choices that are really aligned with your goals.
Exactly. EstateX offers this really exciting pathway to real estate investing. But we can't forget that any investment comes with risks.
That's so important to remember.
So just to reiterate, what we've talked about today is not financial advice.
Right, this is just information. Always do your own research, talk to a financial advisor if you need to, and make decisions that make sense for you.
Your own individual circumstances and risk tolerance. Well-said investing should be a well-informed journey, one that's tailored to your personal goals and your comfort level. So as we conclude this deep dive into EstateX, keep learning, keep exploring, and never stop looking for new ways to grow your wealth. Who knows, maybe fractional real estate investing will become a key part of your financial strategy.
I think it has that potential for a lot of people.
And we'll be back soon with another deep dive into a fascinating topic. Until then, happy investing, everyone.
See you next time.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.